name's Megan. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about how this process works, especially when first getting started in the beginning. It's very important to remember that as much as we want a very quick, simple solution that's going to work overnight and get that relief, that like with any good things in life, it takes a little bit of time, especially for it to actually really get the effects and the benefits that you want out of it. So just remember that it requires a little bit of patience, especially in the beginning, but just to stick with it and it will get easier and it will get a little bit better and better. As you begin with your treatments, what you can kind of expect to happen is that at the beginning, it starts off very slow, very gentle, and you can kind of start noticing things happening little by little. And just as the medicine, each time you do a session, is going to be compounding in your brain, that's also kind of how these little changes start trickling into our everyday life. That could be something as simple as having a bit more energy or motivation, and just to do normal things that would usually require a lot more effort than they used to. It could also be having a little bit more clarity in certain things that you were having trouble seeing or identifying. One of the biggest ones that we really see a lot is increased motivation and curiosity for just any little everyday thing that we were overlooking very easily for a long time. And so it really starts off slow and begins to build more and more and more, essentially until you have been able to achieve what we like to call a full neurobiological reset. This can happen roughly for most people somewhere around 6 to 8 sessions, but it's not a perfect science. It really just kind of depends on your own life experiences, what you've been through, what has led you here to this point. And just know that it's okay to not be okay sometimes, and that it can take a little while to work through all of the things that led us here, but that it can be done, it is possible. Just remember to have hope and have faith that you too can feel a little bit better. So after you've essentially reached that full neurobiological reset, that's where all of a sudden you can get a lot of clarity, and it just kind of feels like everything that has been building up into this point sort of just falls into place, and you can have a big epiphany or a breakthrough, and even just those aha moments where you're like, oh my gosh, this has been right in front of me the whole time. How could I have missed that? But it was purely just that you were not able to see it from the different angle, and you couldn't see everything else that was happening. That's kind of how this treatment works. It gives you that shift in perspective to see things from a new light and interpret all the full picture versus just the individual little pieces. One way that I really like to explain this concept is, imagine you have a puzzle and you dump out all of the puzzle pieces onto the floor. Now, of course, all these puzzle pieces, it's just pure chaos. It's all over the place, completely unorganized. You can't actually make out what it is that you're looking at. And so as you keep doing session by session, it's kind of like you're beginning to rebuild this piece of the puzzle, and then that piece, and then so on and so forth. When this happens, when you can see that full picture, you're able to see it for what it actually is, not what you thought it was when you were only given the individual pieces with no context to anything else. And so now you can really see how everything connects to one another and understand, oh my gosh, I understand why when this happens, it makes me feel like this. And just all those little kinds of things of how everything that has led us to where we are is actually all connected, whether we might not be able to see it or not. But that's kind of where this breakthrough really comes into play. So thank you for listening, and I hope this helps you to getting on your way to becoming a little bit of a better